to Catch Outdoors. I'm your host, Captain Rob Modes. This podcast is about living and playing in the Florida Keys, a 125-mile-long chain of islands. I cover my favorite sport, fishing, but also all the many things to see and do down here in the Keys. Catch Outdoors is hosted by Spotify, also brought to you by your favorite podcast network. So kick back and relax with me in the Keys. This week's episode of Catch Outdoors is number 139. Wow, man, moving right along. We're getting really, really close to year 4. Jeez. Hello, all. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending on when you are tuned into the podcast. I'm recording this on a Sunday, the 19th of May. Wow, halfway through the month already. That is absolutely amazing. Did a little fishing on Friday, so I'll get to that report in a little bit. Yeah, it was a good day. Not too bad a day. Weather, hot. There's no other way to put it. It has been hot. As a matter of fact, record hot for this time of year, but there's a cool down on the way, or so they say. So more normal, I can get this out, more normal temps, but we sure could use some rain big time. That's one thing we have had none of. I don't remember last time it rained. It's got to be a month now, maybe. Not even an intermittent shower. A little tiny bit of dewfall, but that's about it. All the rain in the area has been up above us in Miami and most certainly in Fort Lauderdale. They've been getting quite a bit. There's a very persistent stationary front just south of us here in the Keys, and that's kept the rain away. It just kind of pushes against the door, and it just won't let it in. So, but it did reduce the crazy winds we have had for the entire winter and into the spring. I know there's a lot of people here still talking about how absolutely insane the winds were. No basic explanation for it. It just decided it was going to get windy and stay windy, and it did. So, the moon is headed for full on the 23rd, and the tidal movement has improved a bunch in the backcountry. I noticed that when I fished on Friday. But the bite has still been a bit off. I think a dose of rain would really help things. I really do. It gets to a point where this dry, hot nonsense even affects the fish and wildlife. So I suspect that some rain might really flip the switch. Let's see. Oh, the red tide report was in my email, and there's nothing to report statewide. And I actually love hearing that. So let's give you some news, first of all, from the Florida Keys. Finally finished the latest mystery novel I was reading, Wayne Stennett's Fallen Hero, a Jesse McDermott book that are mostly written about the Keys, in and around the Keys. I love them. I really do. It's very good. A nice mystery ending, which I like when writers put that at the end and flip you, and you're like, what? I like that. But I also like the visuals. He writes very well about what it's like to be here in this area of Florida, what it's like to be on the water, and he's very good about describing places and situations, and I like that. I started Fallen Tide. Great attention-grabbing first couple of pages. So obviously Wayne Stennett is my man for now. I'll just continue till I get to the end of that series. I understand there are other series by him, so have to see where this goes. I think I must be on book 7 or 8 by now. I guess you can tell I'm thoroughly hooked on them. I'm doing better at making sure to continue to read, too, something I didn't do much of while I was doing the fishing guide thing. Really and truly, I just didn't have the time for it. So it's nice to be able to do that. Let's see, by the time you listen to this, I should have my new book PDF in hand for a final go-over before printing. Looking so forward to getting what I know about fishing the Florida Keys in y'all's hands. I really am. Not in a way of getting it out of my hair, but I'm just anxious to, see it in print. And that's how it is. It's like your baby, man. You work on it, and you nurse it and play with it, and you dress it, and you wash it, and you do everything you can. And it's like, please, Lord, I sure would like to see this book. And then there's this in related news. I just found this out this morning, that my book, Take a Kid Fishing, was selected as a finalist in the Next Generation Indie Book Awards. It won something. Yay! I honestly am speechless. My publisher loves this book and entered it about 6 months ago, and lo and behold, it won. Pretty cool. And yes, this is one of the books on my website that's signed and on sale. I still have hard copies of it. So check it out at catchoutdoors.com. Grab you one before I raise the price. Is that what you're supposed to do when you win something? Just jack the price up? Nah, it's regular price on Amazon, so folks can go there and get it, but it won't be signed. Let's see. Last week, Janelle and I were invited to attend the official introduction of the Florida Bay Forever license tag rollout in Flamingo in the Everglades National Park. I should say at Flamingo in the Everglades National Park. I played a very small part in helping get it past the 3,000 pre-order number. I mentioned earlier that I did a stand-up recording basically promoting it quite a while back. I think back when we only had 500 or 600 signatures. And so anyway, they made it to the pre-order. The proceeds from the tag will support Everglades National Park, which encompasses a huge part of Florida Bay, now my hometown fishing grounds. By displaying the tag on your car, truck, or trailer shows your love of saltwater fishing and Florida Bay. So get you one. I was very impressed at the rollout. It was really nice because they talked a lot about the fishing side of it. It wasn't all about the park and the trails and all the stuff that obviously goes on in the park. What was really great was this wonderful focus on the fishing that happens there in that body of water. And I was really happy to see that. And I also got to meet the gentleman who took the photograph that became the license tag. And I think the license tag is really cool looking. I mean, what's better than a license tag with a guide on a flats boat and a guy standing on the bow fly fishing? I mean, come on, you know? My song now has a working title. Yay! It's called Free Your Mind, and it's in the works. Stand by. I also have hard copies of the 3 previous books. I should mention that. The one is obviously the award-winning now, I guess I can call it that, Take a Kid Fishing. I've also got What I Know About Fishing Southwest Florida and Paradise, The Bridge to Paradise. I call it the Paradise book. They're discounted on my website at catchoutdoors.com. Go there, get a signed copy, and that purchase includes shipping. So there you go. Better than Amazon. Actually, the printed copies are prettier. Amazon prints their own copies in case you did not know that. So that's not an original book. Here's an update on the new soft plastic lures I mentioned that are made by Z-Man. They're called the Streaks Curly Tails. Again, the Z's. Streaks is S-T-R-E-A-K-Z, curly, and tails, T-A-I-L-Z. They love to play the Z game. The colors, as I mentioned earlier, were Pink Glow and Coconut Ice Glow. They worked much better when using an offset hook that's weighted on the shank of the hook. I had a notion about that. I mentioned it last week that I didn't have much luck, that I fished them on a jig, and I just did not like the presentation and the way they looked in the water on a jig head. They just didn't look right. And it's funny because I was using them on a Z-Man jig head. So I broke out my owner hooks. I have a bunch of owner offsets that have 1/8 ounce weights on the shank, 1/8 and 16th and 32nd, as a matter of fact, but the 1/8 seemed to work the best, a little bit heavier, worked better than the other two. I keep in mind, I still had to pause after casting to give the lure a chance to sink a little bit. So when that thing hits the water, it is so buoyant, it'll rest on the surface for a second, then all of a sudden, boop, just kind of disappear from sight. And it worked. The Cudas loved it. Cudas love everything. And I got a couple nice mangrove snapper on it. So that was rewarding. It was much better than the week before where I caught almost nothing on it. So, and again, it's all about the presentation. I know the color would work. It looked right. It's what I've been using on the Gulf. So same kind of thing. Also, you need to know that the fishing this past week was slower for me. Not sure what was up with that. Maybe a much quicker than normal warm-up of water temps in the backcountry, lack of rain, like I said before. I'm just guessing. But the Cudas and the mangrove snapper love the lure in either color. So, fished this past Friday. And man, oh man, was it hot. I ain't going to kid you. Lord, I had a decent bite in the early morning, but things got very, very slow around 10 o'clock. And by that time, I was done too. The Weather Service said that feels like temperature was going to be, with the humidity, of course, was going to be 114, and I don't doubt it. I felt like I was just going to melt. But it didn't matter how much water I drank. Didn't matter how much Gatorade I was putting in myself. I started getting that spent feeling. It's not cool. And so I headed back to the dock. The best thing of all was a ride back in the breeze. But my Lord, it was hot. And got all done with that by 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to go out again. Probably won't be tomorrow, Monday. It'll probably be Wednesday. Wednesday's weather looks pretty good, so I might venture back out. And actually, we're supposed to get a teeny tiny bit of a cool off. In other words, I should say it's not a cool. It's more normal temperatures. A high of 90 instead of 94 to 96 with lots of humidity. I did venture out to a new area for me. Made it all the way up to Madeira Bay, near the Crocodile Dragover and Crocodile Point. I love looking for crocodiles. They scare me, but I like looking for them. Didn't see any this time around. The fishing up there was pretty good. Quite a few mangrove snapper. Kept 2 nice ones for dinner. A ton of kudos. As a matter of fact, there were almost nothing but kudos. I came across another guy fishing up that way, and we passed, and he said, "How you doing?" And I said, "A ton of kudos." And he goes, I just kept count. He said he caught 30 of them. I'm like, "Yeah, I know." He goes, he said, "What the hell's going on with kudos?" And I said, "I don't know. I really don't know, but they are prevalent." The good news is that they were a lot bigger than the ones I was catching in the winter. I got 4 that were over 3 feet in length. So, I mean, that's a fun time. That's when they race for the bushes and jump and act extremely crazy. And when you get them close to the boat, they're scary looking because they look like they're all teeth. But anyway, they put up a great fight. So I'm not going to complain much. After all, a fish on the line is better than no fish at all. So the crazy thing, I saw a lot of real estate on Friday. My final mileage reading when I got home was 61 miles covered. So that's quite a bit. Normally, I'll do a nice long 40 miles sometime, 20 out, 20 back. But this was extra. I just wanted to see this area that I had heard about and never been in. And I like you all know, I like exploring new stuff. So I like the layout. I think it will improve dramatically as summer goes on and the bait really starts to move in and we get some rain. So, but I like exploring all of Florida Bay, so not just the eastern part of it. Speaking of fishing, there's this. It's kind of important. The CCA Florida Star Tournament begins on May 25th. This is a months-long tourney that runs through September the 2nd. So basically, it's a Memorial to Labor Day thing. Unique combination of conservation, data collection, education, and prizes and scholarships valued at over $500,000. I mean, they really give away a lot of great, nice stuff. It makes CCA Florida Star the state's not to miss summer-long fishing competition. I agree. No other fishing tournament in Florida has the ability to engage participants of all ages and experience levels, and even non-anglers can win just by collecting trash and debris. That's right. You take pictures of the trash you collect. You may win prizes for that. I love that part. Heading into the 10th year, CCA Florida Star, presented by Yamaha, has made it easier than ever to participate. The summer-long fishing competition encourages thousands of anglers of all ages to fish with a purpose, conservation, and, of course, winning. The divisions are, let's see here, we have a tagged redfish division, a tagged dolphin division, an inshore and offshore division, native watercraft kayak division. I don't remember if they did that last year or not. And the Realtree Youth Scholarship division, Power Pole Conservation division, and Costa Kick Plastic Trash division. You got it. Now, all these things, basically, you keep track of. Here's what you need to do. You sign up, you register. You get the app for your phone, and you get the official measuring tape, which I think is at West Marine this year. That's where it was last year. I didn't check, but that's usually where it was, so check me on that. And you need to be a CCA member. So membership, I think basic membership is $30. Signing up for the tourney is $40, and that's your cost per person. And kids are less, so check on that as well. You can go to ccaflstar.com, and there's all the information you ever want there, as well as on their Facebook page. Just follow them on Facebook. It's really a pretty cool thing. Basically, you catch the fish, you measure the fish, you take a picture of it, and that enters the fish into the pool if it's a listed fish. And there's a ton. There's sea trout and all these fish are on there. Mangrove snapper, all that stuff's on there. And each one counts in different categories, especially for the kids. And then there's the redfish tag. And the redfish tag is the big one. You catch a redfish that's got a tag in it, a CCA tag. That is huge. That's like, contender boats and trucks. And I mean, some serious, serious prizes, of which I don't know off the top of my head. Normally it's somewhere between 6 and 10 grand prizes like that. And first come, first serve. If you're the first person to turn in a red, you get to select the very first prize from that package. So it's worth it. And they put those redfish all over the state of Florida. I talked to a lady who knows, because she knows where they put them in. She ain't saying, but she assured me that they are all over Florida. So that's pretty cool. So again, register, get the app, get the official measuring tape, and then go fishing. A lot. Let's see. Oh, this news is hot off the press. George Poveromo and artist Pasta Pantaleo will be at the newly reopened Papa Joe's in Islamorada for a social event on Saturday, June 1st from 3 p.m. to whenever. Everyone's welcome. Again, that's George Poveromo and then the artist Pasta Pantaleo. His work, by the way, is fantastic. They'll be talking fishing and art. There'll be raffles. There'll be door prizes, giveaways, and of course, lots of fishing stories. So you might want to tune in on that one. I'm going to do the best I can to be there since it's right down the road. It's not like I have to go real far to get there. And George has always got a tip worth listening to, so that's the cool thing. So let's see. Man, I think I've caught up. Good grief. This is going to be a very, very short podcast. I had lots of little news, but not a lot of long news. And I wasn't ranting. I got to be honest with you. I just got over a cold, a week-long cold. Not serious, nothing bad. I mean, with the way I'm being treated with cancer and all, sometimes that can be a real problem. This was just basically a cough. And it developed into a little bit of a cold, and now it's just about gone. So I'm doing fine. But I kind of knocked the wind out of my sails this week, so hopefully I'll do better next week. So anyway, so it's time now. We're going to move on to a little bit of useless information.
And now, from the original book of useless information.
You are a reject! You are useless! You can get a job down here cleaning toilets!
Here's your host, Captain Rob Modies.
Well, he swears up and down he's useless, but
he might be all right eventually, but completely useless.
With useless information.
Okay, here we go. Let's see here. I picked out 4 once again because I can. In Cleveland, Ohio, it is illegal to catch mice without a hunting license. In Hartford, Connecticut, it is illegal for a husband to kiss his wife on Sundays. You got to be kidding me. Let's see. We're moving to another country. In Helsinki, Finland, instead of giving parking tickets, the police usually deflate your tires. I kind of like that one. And last but not least, back to the U.S. In Kentucky, it is illegal to carry ice cream in your back pocket. I have absolutely no idea where that came from. I really don't. And before I go, some last words, as usual. This will probably be the shortest podcast I've ever done. That's okay. I'll do my best to increase it. That one of the nice things is I'm not under the gun to make them any size at all. So anyway, come down to the Keys now if you can. Crowds have gone, and they really have gone until the kids get out of school. And even then it's slower than the winter months. We noticed going to the restaurant was about the only time it was busy, but the fish house is always busy. So, but out on the roads, it was amazing to look all the way down US 1 and not see a car at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. There are also big breaks on rooms right now. Room costs this time of year are much, much lower than they are in season. I recently saw this post from Gwen Filosa, the roving reporter and comedian from Key West, that was titled "From the Department of Keys Life." This was after many, many folks down this way witnessed a SpaceX Starlink launch that a lot of Keys folks thought might be an alien invasion. You all may have seen some of the pictures on the web of one of the, you know, how they look when they launch it at either at dawn or in the evening. Yeah, and it catches the weird light. Well, yeah, a lot of people were, oh my God, something's happening from outer space. I love it here. Her remarks, though, really cracked me up because it's so true. She said, and I quote, "And in the Keys, many of us are living a little house on the prairie level naivety life when it comes to mainland realities." And that is so true. We don't really identify with much that's going on beyond the 18-mile stretch. And that does pretty much sum it up. I love living in this 100-mile plus long small town. I really do. You never know what you're going to hear next or see. Take care, y'all, and I'll talk to you next week. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed listening, please tell a friend, leave a review, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Facebook page is Catchy Outdoors. The website is catchyoutdoors.com, where you can find all the previous podcasts and a schedule of what's to come. Until next time, get outdoors and enjoy.